Probably. You know what? It doesn't matter. I don't care. Today, guys, let me just fix something else. I guess I did fix that. What? Well, something is fucking with me. Okay, so the plan for today is watching other people's videos again, because I like leeching of other people's creative content. Ugh. I wake up every morning wanting to be a leech on society. So, first and foremost, we are going to check out how the Balkans tried to build a nuke. Now, if you know anything about the people there, I wouldn't know. It's not that side, it's this side. I wouldn't know based on the random letters behind me. You probably would not guess from which part of the world I originate. But yeah, that sucks. Let's just kill the chill hop and start watching the video.
The year is 1949. World War II was a thing of the past. America went back on focusing on skin color, and the world was split into two warring factions who were just itching to get at each other's throats and expand their spheres of influence. Caught between a rock and a hard place was Yugoslavia.
If you ask someone the best part of history in the best part of the world, I don't have space to move, but in our hearts we will for always be I don't know, bro. Bratstvo и единство. Yeah.
Under the competent yet teetering leadership of Josip Broz Tito. Already dealing with the delicate ethnic balance of Yugoslavia, he didn't want to also deal with the external bullshit from other superpowers.
Yeah,
so,
bro.
Like any sane
America
red
fucked
state
them.
American, he decided to arm himself to the teeth,
Yeah.
expecting that both sides would.
Bro, a kick is just not worth it to stream there, believe it or not. I set another platform. Excuse me, TikTok. The green. I can't even say gambling. That platform. It's not even worth it streaming there.
Try and pull some crap and invade the country. But just spending every Yugoslav's paycheck on guns wasn't enough. So, Tito.
Paychecks? In Yugoslavia there was money? Excuse me? I wasn't aware of that. I actually, first time I'm hearing of in Yugoslavia actually people having money. First time hearing, man.
Decided to get a nuclear
Good to know
bomb.
the chat is working though. That's good.
The first thing you need in order to build an atomic bomb is
The power of friendship.
obviously a JBL blasting Rocky Vulovic and several crates of Zayacharsko. Oh wait,
Zayacharsko is not actually that good. Yeah, I'm gonna get lynched for that, but Zayacharsko is actually pretty mid. Pretty mid, bro. You drink Nikšićko or Kamenica. You don't drink Zayacharsko. Fuck Zayacharsko.
wrong
I'm gonna get lynched
The
for
first thing you need in order to build an atomic bomb is obviously a nuclear research center where scientists and engineers can experiment and develop it. Simple.
Probably.
However, given that we're talking about Yugoslavia, a country where if you lovingly stroke a Serb without giving a Croatian a goodnight kiss, the entire country would erupt in civil war, the development was split between three research.
That's a bit much, actually. You wouldn't even need to do that. If you glanced at one without glancing at the other, the country would fall. So, yeah.
Divisions in Serbia, Croatia, and Slovenia. This was another attempt
We got left out. Boo. I don't think we even existed back then, but... Boo!
for Tito to boost the shared national identity and not play favorites with his republics. And nothing screams brotherhood and unity like developing a world-ending weapon. But
Yes.
obviously, the institute closest to Belgrade was set as the main one, the Vinča Nuclear Institute. Having three different institutions was a recipe for disaster. As you can imagine, the research was similar to a box of cigarettes sold in Bosnia, filled with smoke, residue, and written in three languages for no good reason.
Yeah, no, there is a good reason. I'm not politically equipped to give that reason, but there probably is a good reason.
Program was plagued by a lack of communication and coordination between these three institutes. Research was often duplicated, resources were spread thin, and rivalries sometimes led to reluctance to share findings, crippling progress. After years of experimenting, I've found perfect hammer. With just one hit, uranium will split and go boom! No way. Which hammer? I'm not telling you. What? Why not? Cause it's state secret. Comrade, we work for same state. Three institutes all
No, he's over exaggerating a bit, but yeah, that was probably true. You have to love our people, man. You have to love them.
triple the regular amount of socialist state secrecy and bureaucracy. Because if the Balkans love anything, that's waiting in line to file paperwork, only to be told to get back in line because
No. I love paperwork, man. I go there at 9:30. Their break is at 11, mind you. I go there at 9:30. Yo, man, can I finish my food? Sure, bro, finish your food. I wait for 15 minutes for him to finish his food. I tell him, okay, man, I need this, and that, and that. Okay, here's a stack of forms. Go there in the corner and fill them out. Motherfucker, you could have told me that while you were fucking eating. There was no one, by the way. There was no one. It was empty. I didn't need to stay in line. That's why I'm angry. It was empty. There was no one. And motherfucker couldn't just tell me, yeah, bro, here you go. Go fill that out. I'll finish my food and we'll go on our way. Nope. And don't even get me started on their fucking break, bro. The break is from, let's say, at 11 to 11:30. I go there at 12:15. Motherfucker still haven't come back from the break. And I wait for like half an hour still. And I come and he's, what you want? Why you here? You're missing one paper. Go there. But can't you get it? No, I can't. You have to go there and do that. Why? Yeah, why you here? Fuck, bro. Fucking get Rule 34 furry artists working there. Them motherfuckers is so fast and efficient, bro. We will have everything done. We will become a world power. So just do it. Trust me. Current government, do it.
Forgot one paper. Of course, you can't do any meaningful research if you don't have the necessary equipment and material. Being the smooth talker and pro cigar puffer that he was, Tito leveraged his non-aligned status and managed to secure lucrative deals with both sides of the Cold War in order to cross his nuclear shopping list. The US, for instance, helped by allowing Yugoslav scientists and engineers to conduct research at American universities and sending geologists to survey for potential uranium deposits. They even collaborated on the construction of the Krško nuclear power plant with the US firm Westinghouse, being the first communist country to receive such aid from America. Yugoslavia also began
makes sense.
a research collaboration with fellow neutral nation Norway, aiding Yugoslavia in plutonium reprocessing, which was a big deal for the Norwegians as the salmon were crossing way too many red lines. Meanwhile, in spite of Stalin trying to kill Tito a little short of 1 billion times, the Soviet Union also sought to keep Yugoslavia in its sphere of influence.
Yeah, if you ask, anyone in the historical sphere, Stalin and Tito loved each other. They were pretty much best buddies. They tried. I mean, Stalin mainly tried to kill him multiple times, but hey, they were still best buddies.
The USSR supplied the country with highly enriched uranium.
Is that train? Is that train? Is that
For its
bro? I can't fuck this, bro. Is that train from CS? And now, bro, I hate the YouTube player. I hate the YouTube player. Is this train? No, it isn't. Bro, nah, everything looks like a CS map to me. Fuck that.
country with highly enriched uranium for its research reactors, making up for their low-quality deposits. However, the uranium trade was derailed following the Tito-Stalin split, after Stalin tried the 1,000,001 time to have Tito assassinated. Following Stalin's death, Soviet-Yugoslav reconciliations revived nuclear collabs between the two socialist nations, culminating with the Soviet-supplied RA reactor at the Vincha Institute. Okay, so you know,
Nice.
Stalin was a bit and I just wanted to apologize about the whole poison in your coffee thing. Apologies don't fix broken trust. Actions do. What about a brand new RA reactor?
Lore accurate. You know, Yugoslav, Russia, Soviet relations. Lore accurate.
All in all, in spite of the regional bureaucratic nightmare, the Yugoslav nuclear program was well prepared and started on the right foot, with eager global powers from both sides of the Cold War pining for Tito's trust and hoping for better political and economic ties with Yugoslavia.
What's up? Nothing, bro. Leeching of other people's content. My favorite pastime.
And Norway itching for the day it could obliterate its aquatic enemies.
Why?
As such, Yugoslavia was,
Why?
in theory, a huge favorite to become the first non-aligned nuclear power, ahead of friendly rivals like India or Egypt. I forgot to mention another critical element necessary for a fruitful nuclear weapons program. Money.
Good luck. Money.
Loads of
You don't need money in Yugoslavia, bro. We had Bratstvo Jedinstvo. We don't need money. That's for them capitalist piece of shits up there. And how am I doing? Very, very, very poorly. You know, I'm dying.
money. Tito and the rest of his administration was hell-bent on getting the bomb at all costs. I mean, who knows what would have happened if Gandhi got the nuke first? And the cost was immense, almost crippling to the economy. One of Tito's closest associates even said, "We must have the atomic bomb. We must build it even if it costs us 1/2 of our income for years." Because of
Motherfucker,
this, Yugoslavia would become heavily reliant on IMF loans and foreign economic aid to remain sustainable.
Hello, Biden.
As more and more funds were allocated.
I love that meme. I love that. Hello, Biden. It's Zelensky. We need a nuclear bomb. I fucking love that meme, bro. I miss 20 something. I don't know when the whole Ukraine thing started, bro. It seemed like it was yesterday. But I think it's like 5 years ago. 3, 2, 3, 5. I don't know, bro. I don't know. There is a road they're building down the street. It started before the war. It's still not finished. They might actually finish the war before that road is done. So
Allocated to the clandestine nuke program. Definitely a necessary sacrifice to ensure the country's security, and definitely unrelated to its military inferiority complex. Obviously, when you attempt to secretly develop atomic bombs, hiding all traces of your experiments becomes arguably harder than the experiments
It was
themselves.
secret,
Like
what?
the time they amateurishly doxed their researchers
wasn't everyone after World War II just open about, yeah, we need nukes, we're building nukes, fuck secrets, bro, just nukes, until like, I don't know, this was during the Cold War, yeah, wasn't everyone just build nukes, build, everyone knew everyone was building, but I guess everyone was keeping it secret. I don't know, bro, I played PUBG Mobile during history class.
real name to the Norwegians when they requested a list of recipients
Why?
for their
Hello, it's Tito. We hit 5 billion heavy water to power our nation. Sincerely, Yugoslavia.
heavy water. But get this, the Norwegians were happy even with fictional names, and it was the Yugoslav bureaucracy that broke the secrecy and sent the actual names of their personnel. To which the
Why?
Yugoslavian embassy
They're
just
dumb,
said,
bro.
It doesn't matter who knows about our heavy water purchase. We're a federal state and it will be distributed across the federation.
Do not dox your Cool.
Tito
To the
relied heavily on
Norwegians.
the Yugoslav military officials and the secret services to closely monitor the nuclear weapons project and keep it as covert as possible. However, due to his growing paranoia, Tito's hiring policy slowly became based more on political loyalty and ass-kissing than on any scientific competence or experience. Key
yeah.
positions were
Such is our way of life.
being filled by party loyalists with little to no experience, causing a slew of organizational and technical problems. Alright, Comrade Tito, here we have our two top candidates for the position of Chief Nuclear Development Director. Stoyan Vasic, doctor in nuclear physics and chemistry, who's written multiple dissertations on Manhattan Project,
Yes,
won
yes.
numerous academic awards at Belgrade Faculty of Natural
Yeah,
Science.
yeah, yeah.
And
And the other guy is someone's nephew.
my son,
A son, even better.
loyal party member since he was born, Bruce Lee Iljazovic. Glory to Yugoslavia. Hired. Despite the immense secrecy, the
It's funny because it's fucking true, bro.
program was a testament to negligence and irresponsibility. Nuclear
Where do people find the 360p Gmod clips? What the fuck?
materials, including highly enriched uranium, were stored in dilapidated hangars at the Vinci Institute,
Yeah.
secured by nothing more than a simple wire fence, a rusty padlock, and all-reliable Bogdan with his bottle of rakia and his pack of Drina cigarettes. Indeed,
I do think
it
that's
was
even
equipped with
over-exaggerated.
state-of-the-art
Probably
security that
even less.
America and the USSR could only ever dream of. Nothing could come in the way of Yugoslavia's nuclear ambitions. Except the millions and millions in IMF loans. If only Yugoslavia had diversified its income, maybe they could have survived. Probably not.
Yeah,
That
no.
boat was sinking from the beginning. But you cannot make the same mistake by diversifying your investments. And what better way to
I smell a sponsor.
do so than with stock
I smell a sponsor.
and the help of today's sponsor,
Yeah.
Liberty Defense.
Sorry, bro.
Buy and upgrade airport
Sorry, bro.
plastic or 3D printed guns. Hexwave can scan
Sorry, bro.
boards from the TSA to help modernize over 1,000 airport body scanners using Liberty
still the
Defense
sponsor, what?
and some EA
End up here.
from others such as mining companies.
Smash though.
Defense in a great position to fulfill this demand with the already TSA approved Hexwave systems. I don't usually promote companies of this sort on the channel and have
Bro,
previously
this is still the
dedicated others
sponsor,
such as
bro.
mining companies.
Please.
If you'd like on screen intelligence.
Please.
In October 9th,
I am leeching off people, but I'm still allergic to sponsors.
1958, 6 young researchers were conducting a routine experiment on a nuclear reactor in the Vinci Institute. At some point, they had failed to turn off a pump, causing the water moderator to reach a dangerous point of criticality. The researchers had even detected a strong smell of ozone, but didn't bother to check its source, thinking Bogdan ripped another fat one. Oh, Bogdan. But
Oh, Bogdan.
10 full minutes later, after seeing Bogdan was out taking a piss in the outhouse, they realized that they had unknowingly caused an uncontrolled nuclear chain reaction,
Makes sense.
exposing themselves headfirst to 80 million joules of radiation. The 6
Honestly,
of them
that's
were
nothing.
urgently transported to France to be treated immediately. The radiation doses they were exposed to were pretty much near lethal, and for one of them it was too little too late, but the rest of them managed to live on for decades post-exposure thanks to revolutionary bone marrow transplants, something unheard of in Europe at the time. So at least something good came out of this total disaster. The Vinci incident was ultimately caused by human incompetence and clumsiness. So the embarrassing reports on the disaster were kept secret. Still undeterred,
Wow.
the Yugoslav nuclear research continued as usual, thankfully with fewer incidents of such magnitude and such idiocy. In the 1960s, progress on the bomb slowed down significantly. To no one's surprise, splitting the research into 3 centers located in 3 different republics led to jack shit. Also, remember when I told you about the Soviet-supplied RA array reactor? Well, in their eternal wisdom, the Soviets never bothered to teach the Yugoslav scientists how their reactor works. So, when some technical issues were discovered, nobody knew how to fix the reactor. And
Man, truth be told, even if they did tell them how to fix it, no one would actually fix shit. That's just how the story goes here.
And they tried everything. Duct tape, WD-40, giving it a big
Whoa. We probably didn't have WD-40, bro. No.
sloppy kiss.
That's the most historically
the
inaccurate
RE
thing.
reactor was basically a shiny pile of metal that mostly lay dormant until it was officially shut down in 1984, after 25 years of quote-unquote operation. Welcome to Yugoslavia, comrade. Could I interest you in sip of finest rakia?
I know what he does the Russian accent though.
Yes,
That's-
thank you.
that's something.
Is that RE reactor we gifted you? Aren't you supposed to use for nuclear research? No, comrade, it is for making rakia. RE in its name stands for Rakia Reactor.
Honestly, they would just do that. They would
Silly.
so fucking do
Silly
that.
Soviet. The
They would
nuclear
so fucking
weapons
do that.
program also suffered from cost cutting, as the higher ups decided that it just wasn't worth the hassle anymore. The Soviets were on friendly terms, business with the West was booming, and Bogdan was asking for a pay raise a bit too often. So there was no urgency, especially when they had nothing to show for their work. More importantly, Tito's foreign policy strategy shifted away from nuclear arming, deciding that instead of arming himself, he should try to disarm his opponents instead and make them realize the power of friendship. As a leader of
Too
the
little, too
non-aligned
late, by the
movement,
way.
Yugoslavia's moral authority in the 60s was built on its championing of disarmament and nuclear non-proliferation. All the while, his team of researchers could secretly try to get their shit together, which they did not. So,
Yeah.
the final nail in the coffin came in the year 1970. Yugoslavia signed the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, halted their nuclear weapons program, and so the Yugoslav atomic bomb saga came to an end. Until 1974, when India, Yugoslavia's fiercest non-aligned rival and fellow non-proliferator, successfully conducted its first nuclear test. What did I say about Gandhi? As a founder and self-proclaimed leader of the non-aligned movement, Tito would not let India challenge and undermine Yugoslavia's status.
Man.
Glovo wasn't
That is actually a bit too late, but shut
even
up.
invented yet. So he recalled all his top researchers and military officers and ordered them to get back to the drawing board and build that damn nuke. I swear to God. I swear to God. I will Gandhi. I will rent-free cock. Of course, the development of atomic bombs needed to be kept in total secrecy, since Yugoslavia was still non-proliferating. On paper, that is. Tito really
Man,
wanted
everyone
to have
is
his cake
non-proliferating
and eat it too.
on
However,
paper.
because of the superficial reasoning of the program's revival, none of its glaring flaws were addressed, and barely any progress was made in getting the bomb. Even worse, the handful
What
of
is this?
untrained scientists
Not much,
and
not much.
physicians that were trained
People doing nukes. Yugoslavia tried to make nukes. That went as good as,
during the
might
nuclear
think it
program's inception left Yugoslavia to pursue better opportunities and better paychecks westwards. Because if one thing is true about Balkaners, as soon as their visa gets approved, they'll be out trucking in Germany. Auf Wiedersehen! In 1980,
visa?
disaster
Bro, we
struck
don't need
when
visa.
Tito died of gangrene, most likely caused by the mere thought of India acquiring a nuke before him, throwing Yugoslavia into turmoil and permanently exempting himself from being held accountable for what came next. To combat any potential foreign threats in such tumultuous times, the pace of the nuclear pursuit intensified, split into two parallel programs for military and civilian purposes, respectively. But without Tito, both nuclear projects were plagued by rising tensions, political decentralization, and a collapse.
Yeah, without Tito we were done.
Tito's followers
yeah.
eventually
Thank you,
axed
thank
the
you.
nuclear
I
project
will
in
keep
favor of
leeching
trying
off
to keep
people.
the country together.
That's
but
fun.
to
I
no
live for
avail.
that.
To be fair, I do wonder how the Yugoslav wars would have looked like if they did complete it in time.
We want independence.
They would blow just themselves up, like,
No more
No.
Yugoslavia. Trust is ours. Wait,
Yeah.
what's that?
yeah.
Oh, but the story doesn't end here. Following
Love
both
the animation.
end of the Yugoslav nuclear program and the fall of Yugoslavia itself, no one actually bothered to clean up the nuclear residue from the testing sites. Nuclear materials from the program remained in despair and became a major security risk. The Vinci Institute had tons of radioactive waste stored in the open and poorly maintained hangars, so not up to international standards, to say the least.
Standards? What? I mean, that's a bonus, man. That's a bonus. You never throw stuff away. You never know when you'll need a bunch of
The
nuclear
horrible
waste.
state of the nuclear waste in Vincha prompted Russia and the US to work together on a joint mission to secure the hazardous material, the largest in the history of the IAEA, together with thousands of Serbian
The fucking liberal sissies and I don't know what Russia is always trying to meddle in other people's stuff. They were keeping that nuclear waste for something they needed. You never know when you're gonna need a bunch of nuclear waste. Shut the fuck up.
policemen, military personnel,
Why is phone
and
phoning?
NGOs. They
Because
successfully
it's phoning. What
transported
the fuck?
2.5 tons of highly enriched uranium from Vincha all the way to Russia for reprocessing at a
Wow.
measly cost of $55 million.
That's
And
chump
that
change,
was
bro.
the
What?
story of the world's greatest nuclear program. A noble and ambitious mission filled with comical errors, half measures, and all that trademark Balkan nonsense.
Nah, bro. If Titus stayed alive, they would have had the nukes in the 40s, even though he died in the 80s. But yeah, you know what? It doesn't matter. I still stand by. It was all them Clinton's fault. I don't fucking know what I'm saying, by the way. Is it obvious? It's obvious.
A perfect metaphor
Yeah.
for Yugoslavia itself.
Yeah. Thank you for watching. And thank you for making the video, man. Entertaining us. Yeah. So that's that. And so what is next? We have what is happening with system requirements. This is something close to heart. We have why is your favorite character. We have some Gunnar shit, I guess. We have I don't know, bro, something and a deep dive. Oh, this thing. One day, I promise to everyone and myself, I will sit down and watch this. It's 6 hours long. I will sit here in this chair for 6 hours and watch this. Today is not that day, but one day I will sit in this chair and watch that thing for hours. And for now, I guess we can go with what is going on with system specifications, man. It hits close to heart. So yeah, games are unplayable these days, so let's just see why and what is going on with system specifications.
If Batman Arkham Knight came out in 2025 instead of 2015, it would need probably 16 gigabytes of RAM and an RTX GPU to run. And besides being a comment under my video, it's also pretty damn true. You've probably all noticed how system requirements for games have been skyrocketing in recent years.
I mean, they have, but I remember caring about system requirements when I couldn't run a game. I remember back in the days with my trusty GT420, and even that was too much before even that. I remember looking at the game, looking at the system requirements, and just crying. I remember GTA 5. This was 2016 or 2017. I played GTA 5 on a GT420 on 800 by 600 in 16 FPS. I finished the game 4 times. The story mode, because I obviously didn't have money for GPU, let alone buying the game. So, tomato. But it pained me, just spending hours looking at system requirements. It's hard. It was hard. And now, when I actually went out and bought a PC that can run pretty much everything, I play nothing. It's sad, man. It's sad. You know, just no.
Of course, games are improving, acquiring a multitude of new technologies that require a lot of power. But is the way modern games look really worth the fact that they can only run on a video card that costs several $1,000s? The system requirements of modern games are...
And I mean, the costing several $1,000s. I think people are actually a bit too fucking just a bit too annoying. Man, okay, you bought a 4090, you bought a 5090. Play the game and shut the fuck up. Like, for me, the fact that I can run the game is enough. Like, it doesn't matter. I played through the entirety of Red Dead Redemption on the GTX 1050 Ti. It sucked. It lagged like crazy. I did it. I played through GTA 5 and 20 FPS. The game could run. I dreamt of 60 FPS at 720p. Didn't matter the settings. And people now buy a 5080, put it in. I want everything ultra 4K. Wow. I mean, on the 4K debate, I am a bit blind, as you may be able to see. So, the 1080p for life. Maybe one day I'll get a 1440p monitor. But for now, with a 3070 Ti, 1080p, everything runs. Everything. Too bad I play nothing.
growing 5 to 10 times faster than the...
But yeah, gamers are a bit too... I don't even know the word. They just like whining. Oh, I can't play the newest game that came out today on my $1,000 GPU. Everything is maximum. They are not building. Motherfucker, shut the fuck up.
average hardware performance. Let's take Skyrim and Starfield for example. Of course, Starfield is much more technologically advanced, but is it so much so that the difference in requirements is 20 times greater with similar gameplay density?
No.
I'm sure many of you have seen the trailer for the upcoming Deus Ex remaster, and I'm not going to talk about how
this
shitty it
piece
looks
of
and why
shit.
anyone would even bother making it, but the craziest thing here is something else entirely. I was simply stunned when I found out the system requirements for this.
I mean, a GT 620 to play the game, probably the old mode that could run on a fucking graphing calculator. But requiring a RTX 2080? What? Why? Why? I mean, it's probably some half-baked ray tracing solution like the Quake RTX demo thing. I don't know what it was. It's probably something like that. But why even put it in? And the problem is not that they decide to put that stuff in. The problem is that they just, haphazardly drop kick it in there without actually thinking about, okay, should we add this? Yeah, no, bro, just push it out. That sucks, bro. You probably don't need a 2080. You probably never will need a 2080. Except if you want better light interaction, ambient occlusion piece of shit.
Prehistoric piece of crap are. While the original game only needed 16 megabytes of video memory,
Yeah.
the remaster, which isn't far off visually, needs an RTX 2080 and 16 gigabytes of RAM. Are
Again,
you
it
fucking
needs.
mental?
It
Are you
doesn't
fucking
need that.
serious? I want to remind you that Deus Ex Mankind Divided 2016, which is an incredible game, by the way, only required an old GTX 660 with 2 gigabytes.
Hey, the 660 can still run stuff. You can still play Valorant probably on a 660. If you can get Windows 11 drivers for that, but you can still do
How
it.
is it possible that this outdated remaster requires more powerful hardware than what you see on the left? It all looks really strange. It seems that the crazy system requirements for modern games exist.
Again, he is doing a bit of the grift. They don't require. It's if you want everything actually maxed out beyond reason, then it's required. It's recommended. But no one is forcing you, bro, to buy a 2080 to play that
Not
stuff.
only because of the excessive use of various technologies, but for some other reason. But what if the problem isn't even graphics? What if your computer isn't getting weaker every 6 months, but the system requirements are simply being artificially inflated for some reason? And most importantly, when and why do they stop making games better and start just making them harder to run?
When the processing power actually became available, like back in the fucking day where you could barely, run anything, people needed to be creative. And now you have just excess processing power and you just throw stuff at the wall. Will it run? Bro, there's like, this shit is not optimized. It runs. They do that. And that sucks, but, I still have hope for Rockstar. I still hope in the same way that I was able to play GTA 5 on a GT420, which is a card from 2011 with technology that I think came out in 2009, and it was shitty even for then. It was basically a display adapter and not a graphics card for playing games, and it worked. The game worked kinda. I still hope I can run when GTA 6 comes to PC eventually. I don't know, bro, 2028, 29, 2030. I hope I will be able to pull out my 1050 Ti and run that shit. I so hope. Probably not though, because
When
it will
I started
probably
digging
require
into
8
this
gigabytes
topic,
of RAM
I stumbled upon
minimum.
some truly shocking. Oh, people in suits are once again deciding what you can and
I smell a sponsorship.
can't watch. Screw this hack.
And it's NordVPN. Yeah, go use his link, subscribe to NordVPN.
Let's go back to 2019 when Call of Duty Modern Warfare was released, which ran smoothly on a GTX 970 and looked better than most modern shooters. Realistic lighting, complex materials, and stable 60 frames per second.
Yeah.
Overall, the game looked great, and I would even call it one of the most beautiful games in the history of the franchise. Only the mission where we clear House of Terrace with night vision goggles can be called the visual peak in the entire history of Call of Duty. But 6 years have
Agreed.
passed and we see Black Ops 7, which already requires an RTX 4080, but looks significantly worse.
I wouldn't say it looks
The models are
worse.
simplified, the lighting is flat, and even the animations have become less lively. Maybe they added new unnecessary technologies or just increased the number of polygons.
I mean, yeah, it's again art style versus reality. A game with good creative direction will always outshine a realistic game. You don't always need to strive for realism. You need to strive for what looks good and for what will be serviceable to you as a game designer. So, yeah, the fully path traced Cyberpunk looks better, but everything on low still looks fantastic. So, you know.
Overall, the visual component of the new Call of Duty clearly looks more outdated than it was 6 years ago. The IW engine remains the same, but now has additional layers of post-processing, ray tracing, enclosed rooms, and dynamic effects that no one
Fuck post-processing. I always turn that shit off. Fuck. What do you mean depth of field? What do you mean bloom? What do you mean if I wanted my screen to be blurry, I would smear Vaseline on the screen and gouge my eyes out with a fucking fork, man. Just fuck that.
notices, but now every player pays for them. The game consumes 3 times more resources to show fewer details. The new Metal Gear Solid remaster repeats the same story. A remake of the 2004 game that requires an RTX 4080 and 16 gigabytes of RAM and still drops below 60 FPS. The reason is not even the graphics, but the architecture. The old DirectX 11 code was simply wrapped in modern RTX shaders without rewriting the geometry processing system. The result is
Oh, whoa. That will require work, man. That actually requires work. Wait, stop there, bro.
the GPU
We don't have
waits
the
for
man
data,
for that.
the CPU waits for the GPU, and you wait for it all to stop lagging. The remake does look cleaner and more visually appealing, but does it really need such
It looks like a
high
PlayStation 3
system
game.
requirements? I would also like to mention
could have
Doom,
been pulled
the Dark
off on the
Ages.
PlayStation
ID
3.
Software, once synonymous with optimization, now recommends 32 gigabytes of RAM. The reason is technically logical. The ID Tech 9 engine stores multiple layers of textures and shadows in memory at the same time to avoid pop-in, which is when objects or textures suddenly appear in front of the player's eyes because the game didn't have time to load them in advance.
I have GTA installed on another machine on a hard drive. It's GTA Enhanced. In that PC there is a 4th-gen i5 and a 2060 Super, my old 2060 Super. The game runs at, above 60 FPS, everything high, but the loading, it will take 5 minutes to load because it's running on a slow 3200 RPM, even slower probably, a laptop hard drive from like 2011. So it sucks, bro. Like,
advance. But this means that the computer processes scenes that you don't even see. In other words, what used to be solved by precise code and memory limits is now simply solved by, why should we bother with our code when we can just specify inflated system requirements to ensure that players don't see any artifacts? And finally, Sid Meier's Civilization 7 released this year. A typical turn-based strategy game, which visually has hardly changed from previous installments, now somehow requires a much more powerful computer.
it honestly looks like a mobile game.
The game now renders everything in full 3D with dynamic lighting and volumetric effects, even when you look at the resource table. As a result, you need an RTX 2060 to play a game that should run on an office laptop. Let's be honest here. Today, most games are not becoming more complex. They have simply ceased to be economical. Data is duplicated, caches are not cleared, and engines keep scenes in memory that you will never see. We clearly see a loss of control over how many resources are being burned, and perhaps that is why we see such crazy system requirements for new games. But
no, you see, Unreal Engine is the culprit. Developers are becoming lazy. I have one favorite grifter, bro. My favorite grifter is this guy. Is this guy? It's something. Yeah, is this guy, bro? This guy. This is my favorite grifter. I love watching this guy. I like watching him explain technical jargon I probably don't need to understand for no apparent reason whatsoever. I love him. Yeah, he is a grifting piece of shit. But doesn't matter, bro. I will watch every video of his. With the
This is our final.
even though here
Find
I don't know what
textures
he's
rather
talking
than the
about.
Standard 3 PBR textures.
He probably doesn't really know what he's talking about. For what I was able to find out, this guy is just I can't find the words, man. My head is not here. Wow, that was really a huge brain freeze. What the fuck? Yeah, it doesn't matter. He's my favorite grifter.
then here a logical question arises. Do developers have a real opportunity to reduce these requirements?
Yes.
High system requirements are not the result of technological progress. They are the result of a strategy in which no one is interested in making games efficient. When hardware becomes more powerful, the industry simply stops counting every megabyte, because now there is no need to. Video card manufacturers have to sell a new generation every single year, and every time a game comes
Nvidia is selling a new generation every single year because they are greedy pieces of shit and they made so much fucking money from the AI bubble that they don't care about GeForce anymore. They actually don't. They release just, new architecture, but pretty much the same rebatched card year after year, year after year. They still keep the fucking 8 gigabytes of RAM on the entry-level GPUs just because, man. Like, I went from a 2060 Super to 3070 Ti. Yeah, the 3070 Ti is way more powerful. But if I move to 1440p, and in like a year, I will have to go and buy a I don't know, bro, a new card, something with probably minimum 16 gigabytes of VRAM and this and that, and it will probably have to be like a 4070 Ti super mega duper probably. Yeah, it sucks. It sucks. If I mean, I was looking at a 3080, but they was too expensive for me.
Comes out that doesn't run on the old card, it's the best advertisement for new GPUs. Game engines also work not for efficiency, but for versatility. That's why we see Unreal Engine 5 becoming so popular, and it doesn't matter that it's too heavy for the hardware. Developers need to support everything, any formats, any effects, any scales. That's why there are always dozens of subsystems working inside a modern game that no one even sees. Memory is not spent on the player, but on the variability to support everything at once. This is beneficial for developers. They no longer have to deal with low-level optimization. The engine does everything for them, and the studio just ticks boxes in the menu. This saves months of work, but it kills control over how much the game actually consumes. Every year, this looks like progress, but technically, it's a breakdown of technical discipline. And then comes marketing. At the presentation, everything has to look cinematic, even if the player doesn't notice it. That's why the final version leaves in the blur, shaders, and tons of post-processing, everything that looked good in the demo. And even when the developers see that the game is barely breathing, no one risks fixing anything or even optimizing it. This is how next generation games appear, which look like the previous generation but consumes like the next 3. And when the developers say that the game is not designed for future hardware.
What is bro fucking doing? And yeah, game is designed for future. Crysis was designed for future hardware, my man. Fucking the new Assassin's Creed is could have probably run on the PlayStation 4. Bro, The Last of Us 2 ran on a PlayStation 4. Red Dead Redemption 2 ran on the PlayStation 4. And you can't make games for the PlayStation 5? Fuck you.
Mind, it just means that it has not been optimized for the present. This has consequences. Today's games are not scaled to the player. The player has to scale to them. And the average PC, which a few years ago was considered a gaming PC, now simply cannot even run modern games. This is convenient for the industry. For the players, it's expensive. And for the game itself, it's devastating. Because the fewer restrictions there are, the fewer ideas there are. Optimization has always been about more than just...
I'm really not hopeful for the new Witcher. I still have to finish the Witcher 3, but I'm not hopeful. It will probably be a good game, but seeing Cyberpunk still to this day, I still can't finish Cyberpunk, bro. I enjoy the game. It's an okay game, but it tried to be too much, and it ended up being nothing at the end. I'm just disappointed.
Speed. It's about design. It's about understanding what to show the player and what not to show them. But the most interesting thing here is that it's not just gamers who suffer from this. An entire layer of developers is disappearing because of it. Previously, there was a huge space between indie and AAA, the so-called AA segment. Teams that could make a game for $10 million and still look no worse than a blockbuster. Now, this segment is simply being washed out because the price of entry into the industry is determined not by talent, but by whether you can afford Unreal Engine 5, motion capture, and a fleet of RTX test cards. Technologies that were supposed to simplify development have...
What happened? What happened with Minecraft RTX? What happened with Minecraft RTX? Nvidia and Microsoft and whoever. What happened with that? They haphazardly released that. It didn't even work on every world. It required shitty resource pack that wouldn't have the time. It had multiple half-baked stuff. DLSS couldn't even be turned on if the RTX stuff was not on. Why? And it was all on Bugrock, so fuck Bugrock at the end of the day. It's a shitty game. But why couldn't you just allow me to turn you made DLSS integration. You integrated that into the game. Let me run it. But no, it was a publicity stunt for the release of the 30 series. Was it for the 30? I think it was for the release of the 30 series. And it just fizzled out. the new stuff, vibrant visuals they're doing now, it's just normal roster. So I don't know, bro.
Have actually made
I
it
was
a
actually
privilege
hopeful
of large
for
studios.
the
As a
RTX
result, the industry
in
is
Minecraft.
becoming monotonous. It's no coincidence that gamers experience deja vu. Every game now goes through the same algorithms. So when you launch a new shooter and it seems like you've seen it before, you really have seen it before, just under a different logo. We are so used to upgrading our hardware for the sake of new worlds, but it seems that we are now upgrading only to keep those same worlds from freezing. And when a game
Yeah.
requires more resources than it gives emotions, it is no longer a game, it is a benchmark.
Yeah, did anyone actually play the Indiana Jones game? I see that thing only in benchmarks. Yeah, and I'm just so thankful I don't actually play games, new games. Wow. Okay, I mean, it sucks. It just sucks. I'm still hopeful for GTA 6 though. I will wait for that thing. Why is your favorite character? Do we watch that, or do we watch the cat that broke the internet? Down bad art history. What else do we have? We have some football. And this thing. No. Why is your favorite character? Yeah, I am. So yeah, I do wonder why is my favorite character. Why? Oh, why?
Have you ever finished a piece of media, an anime, a
Is this End Venom? What?
game?
No, bro. I am going down the rabbit hole. Is this End Venom? Nah, or do they just sound similar? What? And Venom. Is this just End Venom?
One of the-
What?
One of the single greatest
A novel? Have you ever finished a piece of
achievements in the entire history of Minecraft, and arguably gaming in general is a lot closer
Is this just End Venom? What? Does bro have related channels? Other places you can find what? I guess not. Bro sounds too much like End Venom. Wow. Okay.
media, an anime, a game, a novel? And rather than the plot, it's a character that stuck with you? Maybe you have a variety of reasons. There's something about
Yeah.
the character that reminds you of yourself,
Okay,
or makes
Lottie.
you feel inspired, or they perform their role in the narrative with mastery. My favorite question after a friend has consumed a piece of media I have isn't who's your favorite character, but instead, why is your favorite character?
Asked no one ever, except if your favorite character is arguably not better than my favorite character. Then you are wrong, and you should not have the right to opinion.
Your, favorite character. The question didn't work by itself.
Yeah.
A fictional character on paper is nothing more than an imaginary person created by a real person. Sure, they have a design, personality traits, mannerisms, but a lot of the time, they don't have a tangible voice or hell, in the case of novels, a way to actually see them. They are less of a person and more the idea of a person, the suggestion of a person, and it's the work of you as the audience to interpret and
Persona.
convert that
Why, bro? I still couldn't finish that. Why? I'm so angry.
suggestion into something that feels a little
I
more
couldn't.
real.
I couldn't. I played Persona 4 for one night. That one session was 11 hours long. I don't know up to where I think I saved Yuki or something like that, bro, from something. I don't know. I don't remember. It was long ago. I played it. I just exited that. I think I got stuck mid battle. I hit Alt F4. I turned off the PC, the legally acquired copy of Persona 4, and never played it again. Never. It still haunts me to this day. The save file is there. The emulator is there. The game is there. I am not there. And I played like through the entirety of Persona 4 Arena and Arena Ultimax. Again, legally acquired, RPCS3, it doesn't matter. And played the first 5 hours of Persona 3 on a road trip on my old MacBook. It barely ran, 11 FPS. I loved it.
Is a
And never
very
finished it.
logical way to view fictional characters, and to consider it deeper than that, it would feel, well, in lack of a better term, chronically online, right? 'Cause
Nope.
at the end of the day, these are just fake people made by real people. What if I told you that
That guy, the creator of
the
Chainsaw
most
Man.
logical
It's,
interpretation? What if I
Bro
told you a
is
study
star.
was done by the
Bro is a
psychology
legend.
departments of both Ohio State University
Ohio, you say? Invalid. Whatever he is about to say in this video, invalid. But Ohio University? Bro, what
and
the
the
fuck?
University
What do
of
they know?
Oregon that shows that your experiences with a suggested person run deeper than you originally may have thought.
Yeah.
In this study, Becoming the King of the North, identification of fictional characters is associated with greater self-other neural overlap, participants did trait evaluations on themselves, friends or acquaintances, and finally to cast a Game of Thrones during the airing of the 7th season. All while undergoing what was functionally an MRI to see what parts of their brain had activity when discussing fictional characters in comparison to real people. What they found was that the ventral portion of the prefrontal cortex had the most notable amount of activity when covering all 3 of the topics. The part of the brain that, as far as the test was concerned, handles the perception of self and people you know. On a
They actually did science on weebs, bro. What the fuck? Why?
neurological level, your brain can consider fictional characters not only something akin to a friend, but also something akin to being a part of yourself. Your
When
brain
yeah.
processing fictional characters as people makes sense, especially when you consider how much a well-told story can immerse you, or how beautiful animation can take the mental guesswork of how a character moves. Even video games are getting so detailed that fake pores are added to the people that walk the streets of Night City in Cyberpunk. Naturally, the harder to sell idea is that a character can
Cyberpunk's world is so... I don't see Cyberpunk as an open world game. They don't let me explore the mountains. I will die on this fucking hill. But I can't because I can't climb on the hill. Because CD Projekt Red will not let me climb the mountains. And the city is boring.
hold the place of a piece of your identity. And if you're in that camp that finds that hard to believe, do me a favor, stop for a second and consider a character that you main in a video game. Your
Oh, don't get me started on my mains. I will get locked up, probably. Yeah. In League in particular, I every so often, even though I haven't played League in like 4 or 5 months, maybe less, maybe more. 3, 4, I don't know. I still, to this day, from time to time, will get an urge to go and play Gwen top. Even though I'm a support main, and I play Zeri support, and Zoe. That's what I made, you know, I haven't played the game. But I still get the urge to play Gwen. I don't know, bro, I just like feeling like a cute anime girl on top lane, I don't know.
main, the character you choose to play as the most, typically in a multiplayer game, is how you interact with your friends and anything else that goes on in the virtual world that the game takes place in. Whether you choose this character due to their gameplay mechanics, character design, personality, or a mixture of all of the above, them being on screen represents who you are.
It's
in
mostly
Marvel
character
Rivals,
design.
a game that I am surprised to find myself playing as often as I do, I almost
50 hours? 50 hours in a game. Puh, peasant. In a multiplayer, puh, peasant. Get out, point invalid even more than the Ohio one.
exclusively play as a support character, Luna Snow. She's fairly easy to play using primarily hit scan project
Okay, I never got into Marvel, but who would I play?
character
From these characters here, honestly, probably her, bro. Probably her. I used to play Clove in Valorant. I don't know why, bro. It was fun. Yeah, or Sage. I like her supports.
Luna Snow. She's fairly easy to play using primarily hit scan projectiles, which helps as I don't normally play a lot of competitive games. Her design is appealing as I tend to gravitate to asymmetrical designs, and in a cast of superheroes, soldiers, and mutants, her being a K-pop performer is just fun. Luna Snow being how I interact with the world of Marvel Rivals has become so synonymous with me as a person that when my friends ask me to play with them, they reference her voice line that she says during her ultimate ability.
I am ready to put on a show.
And just because you main a character, that doesn't mean you don't play as
Seraphim
anyone
clone.
else in the roster. I mean, it does for me. But game
Yeah,
developers
and
know
for
that
me.
there is a correlation of
Pretty much.
identity with the characters that you main, which is how a lot of games are able to make money. Rather than selling access to a character, you get to customize them. You can buy different
Yeah.
outfits that make your Luna Snow different from everyone else's. You can get in-game banners, that way even if you aren't playing Luna Snow, she's there representing who you are. This can expand beyond friend groups and impact the community that forms around the game. If you're aware of the Pro Smash scene even a little bit, this Jigglypuff skin pretty much belongs to the individual player of Hungrybox, since this is how he appears when interacting with the series. But even without the perception of others, your main can still hold value. Hell, your interest in a character can be the reason you play the game in the first place. Street Fighter 6 always
Yeah.
looked like a solid fighting game, a genre I have a history of giving a firm try with, but it wasn't until I saw Jerry Han that I actively wanted to give
Bro has a type. You asymmetric character, yeah, bro has a type. And honestly, I agree with him.
a game that I have a lot of love for now, a fair shake. Her high-speed rushdown gameplay with a kick-based fighting
Yeah. Shut the fuck up. You have a type. Admit it. Admit it.
style and punk aesthetic all coalesced into a character that just seemed really cool. I ended up getting the game, learned to play her a little bit, and I became a fan of a series that never really clicked with me before, even liking and playing games without her in it. And Reina from Tekken 8 showcases a reason for me to want to play that game.
Again, proving my point, bro has a type.
Ignore any implications that these characters are similar.
Yeah. No. You have a type. You have, admit it. We ain't judging here. Admit it.
Punk character designs with strong personalities, okay?
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah,
if you have
yeah.
a punk character design and a strong personality, my DMs are open on Blue Sky. But based on how important a game is to you, your main or the character that got you into a series are a part of who you are in some degree.
Man, that goes up to a point. I downloaded Riot's fighting game because I wanted to play Ari in there. I mean, you can tell if you're watching on the vertical platforms what's below me. I tried. I installed the game. I played through the tutorial. I played a whole bunch of 3 matches. I got destroyed. I got annihilated. I nearly broke a controller, and I will never play that game again. Even though the only thing I want to do is just, punch people around with Ari, but I can't. So, fuck you, Riot.
How you actively chose to be represented. While main does, at least in many cases, take root as a part of your identity to whatever degree of importance you have in that game, the way you interact with media isn't what the study meant when it said that consideration for a fictional character is similar to how you consider yourself.
Yes.
Self-reflection begins when you consider how a piece of media interacts with you. Relating to a fictional character isn't some unspoken thing that accidentally happens when an author adds a little too much quirkiness or sadness to a character. A lot of them are designed to be connected with on the grounds of immersing you into the experience.
I mean, I think this guy was pretty blunt.
A lot of visual novels such as dating simulators will give you a mostly plain canvas to project yourself onto since the focus of that game is getting to know
I
others.
hate blank canvas characters. Just why, bro? I can project onto anything. Just make it fun.
Characters and how they interact with you. The Persona series famously has silent protagonists that have suggested personality traits but can be as varying as you would like to play them, especially when it comes to choosing your own dialogue and answers. And this isn't exclusive to
Yeah,
interactive
man.
mediums, as a lot of shows or other stories will try to give you only as much information as you need to make a character you can put yourself into the role of. Sakakibara is the protagonist of the horror story Another, and one of his more defining traits is an enjoyment of horror novels. So the fact that Another is in itself a horror novel means if you're reading it, well, there's a little bit more of a connection you can make to him while he witnesses a curse that kills his classroom one by one. This method of character creation can be seen as inherently shallow, but it truly is effective. If a story wants to immerse you, it doesn't
what
have
they
to give
doing?
you a
What the
slot to
fuck?
fill,
Okay.
but it helps.
It doesn't matter.
That said, it's when a character was made first, maybe with the right amount of quirkiness and sadness, that relating to them truly makes you self-reflect. Bocchi the Rock, at the peak of its relevance, received accolades on the grounds of how relatable the anime and by extension Hitori Goto was.
Still have to watch Bocchi the Rock, bro. Why? I mean, I hesitate because my head hurts when I have to read subtitles, and the monkey language that is Japanese breaks me. But I have watched entire animes that didn't have a dub. I have enjoyed them, but I hesitate to start them. I am somewhere in the middle of Spy Classroom, I think the anime was called. It doesn't have a dub. I'm somewhere in the middle of it, and it's been a year, or even more than a year by this point. I'm somewhere in the middle of it. I still remember what's going on. Every other day I have watched countless shows, animes, read things since I started that, and to now I hesitate every single day to go and continue and finish that. One day I will, and one day I will start watching Bocchi the Rock. I know it's big.
To make a crazy assumption and guess that everyone who is saying that they relate to her aren't calling themselves a pink-haired anime girl who's in high school and an indie rock band. Hitori
They would want to be that.
Goto is relatable because her moments of extreme social anxiety, even as hyperbolic as they are, can hit a little close at home. It's nice to see an aspect of yourself in a character because it makes you feel a little bit less alone. It's validating because it makes you feel seen, and maybe popularity of that character can encourage a little bit of self-confidence. To give a personal example of how impactful this can be, when I was 13, the age that you could use any excuse to have more confidence, I still am short. And because of that easy to notice difference, it felt like a lot of situations regarding other people, my height took place of my identity. It felt like others looked metaphorically and, literally down at me. But then, I watched Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, a show about many things such as the value of family, acknowledging other cultures, and it's complete with all the badass fight scenes and political intrigue that you could ever want in anime. But most important to me, it was a story about a shorter than average protagonist being cool and capable. The protagonist, Edward Elric, was like my idol when I went through
Bro watched Full Metal Alchemist and thought he was him.
my Fullmetal Alchemist phase, and it made me begin to like a part of myself that I used to not. My height wasn't a flaw, it just made me more like the main character of a show I loved.
Yeah.
The idea
Bro
I
watched
was
Full
beating
Metal
around the bush
Alchemist
with that
and
story
became
is
the main
idea
character.
of representation, and it can be a lot more important than a middle school insecurity. The lens of reality that
Don't give me representation in media, bro. Because of representation. Today's media landscape is fucked. I mean, Japan and anime is still going strong, but Western media, fuck representation, bro. I can be represented as in I am represented in K-pop Demon Hunters, bro. Even though I myself, my appearance, my everything is not in there, I feel represented in one of the 4 main chicks, bro. Were there 4? Yeah. I don't remember which one, but I feel represented. And I don't need to be represented. I feel good.
media portrays is tragically narrow, and so many ways of life, cultures, experiences get left out. There are many stories of people who barely got to see actors who looked like them on TV. People who rarely ever saw their culture
Are
represented.
you Russian?
Or people who
No. Sadly, I'm not Russian. I'm close to Russia. No, I'm not even close to Russia. I'm really far away from Russia. I'm Slavic though. So that's the letters behind me and the accent. I can do full Russian, but I don't need to. What is the gift? It's Ari getting petted, man. What?
know how vast their world could be just because
Get
of
educated.
who they loved. Representation
Wow, what was that? Of watching a show, I was the only lesbian I knew. However, the character in the show were able to give me an idea of what I meant to be a lesbian. Fuck you.
people who didn't know how vast their world could be just because of who they loved. Representation makes you feel
Representation.
not so alone.
I am not against representation in medium. I'm against representation being the only thing in that piece of media. The only reason for that piece of media existing being a representation. That's what I am against. That's what I hate. So fuck representation. Do representation, but do it good. Don't force it down my throat, man.
That someone has
I
to
can feel
understand to
represented
some
in a
degree
lesbian
what
story.
you
Yeah, Life is Strange. Life is Strange to this day is my favorite game and one of my favorite stories. I feel with Max. I like the characters, bro. Life is Strange is to this day one of my favorite pieces of entertainment and my favorite game, even though it's not really a game. So, do I have to be a lesbian? No.
Experience
story
on
was
a
good.
daily basis. This hits home even more when you see characters who have shared similar internal wounds. Even beyond
You have to finish
identity,
Cyberpunk
seeing
to
a
watch Edge
character who has
Runners.
suffered
Season
trauma
2 is
you
coming.
connect with and seeing their healing journey can make yours feel a little more tangible.
Even though I don't think I need to finish Cyberpunk to be able to watch Edge Runners. I want to finish Cyberpunk before watching Edge Runners. One day, I am still stuck. I'm still doing side quests. I'm level 50 and level 50 in Street Cred. I haven't spent one like skill point. I have like 15 of them, and Takimura has been waiting for me to break into some security room for 30 hours.
However, it's not just hulking entertainment empires that can create this feeling of validation. People can make their own media to share how they feel or their experiences, and this has led to one of the most popular fictional characters in the modern world.
Miku.
Tell me, what do you know about Hatsune Miku?
That every Miku is canon, so even the Miku I make will be canon.
No, I am not at all joking. To give an example of just how big she is, the website Vocaloid Rankings, which tracks how popular any given character under the Vocaloid umbrella is, says that across YouTube, Nico Nico and Bilibili, Hatsune Miku across all of her songs has 9 billion views. This also isn't counting the impact that she has through rhythm games such as the Project Diva series, fan-made playable songs in games such as Osu and Beat Saber. She was in Persona 4 Dancing, and if we're bringing collabs into the equation, she had an entire music pass dedicated to her in Fortnite Festival where she has 2 different skins.
Man, I like Miku. I don't really like her music nor listen to it, but I like Miku.
But that's just how popular she is, not why she is so popular. Hatsune Miku is a Vocaloid, a voice bank that is used to make music, sort of like an instrument that can sing words. And it's the songs that people make using the Miku voice bank that turn her from the mascot of a product into a character that millions of people can connect with. Since anyone who can access the Vocaloid software can make a song performed by the very own Hatsune Miku, her likeness covers a wide variety of experiences.
Every Miku
from
is
lighter
canon.
stuff such as Rabbit Hole and World Is Mine, the latter being about a spoiled girl who thinks the world revolves around her, and the former, well, I think we can only speculate what this song's about. To heavier songs like The Disappearance of Hatsune Miku and Rolling Girl, the first song being about how Hatsune Miku is inevitably going to be erased and is desperately trying to sing as much as she can, absolutely tearing through words, making syllables nearly incomprehensible in an effort to say everything she can before her time is up. Even if unintentional, I think there is a connection to human mortality and the fear of not doing enough before you die in this song. The second song is about the self-destructive tendencies painful experiences can bring. A common interpretation of the song is that it follows a girl who
Is the
took her
instrumental
own life.
copyrighted, my man?
These are
I'm
just
guessing the
4
instrumental is
songs
copyrighted,
in
my
the
man.
thousands
Am I
that people
framed?
can hear and form a connection to Hatsune Miku with
Yeah, I'm
and
framed.
carry as a part of
The mic's not.
themselves. And being able to see a character everywhere that makes you feel understood as countless people use her to speak their experiences, that is genuinely incredible. But sometimes there's a character that is a part of you, but maybe they aren't like you. Maybe there's a quality they have that sticks with you, that makes you see life and yourself in a different way. Sometimes a character isn't like you, but makes you realize who you want to become. To go back
Yeah,
to Hattori
every
Goto,
character.
there are a lot of introverts who may get nervous being suddenly approached or horribly misread a situation when eyes are on them. This is one of the more recognizable aspects of the
You
main
have to watch
character of
Butcher,
Legend of
bro.
Rock, and was also the way I introduced her earlier in the video. While these qualities are true, Hattori will still get on stage with her bandmates to play the songs they created together. She puts in the hard work to not only perform well, but to put herself in an environment where people are watching her. All while the idea of talking to people is almost overwhelming. This battle she fights against her very own nature, while entertaining, is in no simpler words inspiring. And it is fantastic that the plot of a story as simple as an introverted girl getting out of her comfort zone to go after her dream is so inspirational. So inspirational, in fact, that you can find people who started progressing their own passion
Anyone started learning guitar because of this show? No.
for music in these communities dedicated to Bocchi the Rock. A lot of inspiring characters have one of the most admirable
Smash. This is probably a 14-year-old child, though.
traits a person can
Knowing
have, which is
anime.
perseverance. No matter what you want in life, there's an obstacle to overcome, and sometimes that obstacle may just feel a little too high. What a fictional
Yeah.
character can do is have a goal that the accompanying set of obstacles just seems outright insurmountable. In Black Clover,
Yeah.
the main character Asta wants to be the Wizard King, the captain of the Magic Knights, a position only gained through sheer magical ability that would grant our main character status in the kingdom he lives in's monarchy.
But
And
he
while
is
that
the main
already
character, so...
quite the challenge, as practically speaking, anyone who wants to gun for the title has a shot at earning it. What makes it conceptually impossible is that Asta literally has no magic in a world and hierarchy that only has room for people who do exactly what our lead character cannot. However, it is through sheer force
I mean, you can take that to an absurdity. I mean, the Harry Potter guy, Mash. Bro, it's just him. I mean, yeah, that is a comedic anime. But bro, it's just him. Bro flies with the power of muscles. Big fiction.
of determination and being the only person who can use anti-magic in a world dependent on magic.
And how isn't that a bit of a cheat, my friend?
That Asta is easily one of the strongest characters in the series and probably one of the better applicants for the position. Even though it's obviously fictional, even though the writer's always going to give Asta a solution to climb the ladder a little bit
Yeah.
more, it is inspiring to see a character have every reason to give up, facing absolute
Okay, it's inspiring to have a character have every reason to give up, but he's broken. So he wins because he's broken, and the writer is on his side. I mean, it is inspiring, but it doesn't feel good.
possibility and simply say, I'm not done yet. The willpower to continue fighting is what cultivates inspiration. It makes your own personal obstacles either look smaller or motivates you to overcome your own brand of impossible. Social anxiety won't stop you from performing on stage when you realize it's not this enormous, out-of-reach thing, especially if someone like Asa can overcome his own ineptitude in a world literally built against him.
In a world built against him, but he has an advantage to bring down that world. The same with the Naruto thing, bro. I have a bone to pick with Naruto being the outcast and the underdog in the story. Bro was broken from birth. He was the son of a broken motherfucker being taught by other pretty much broken motherfuckers in the story. Had the strongest of the 9 demons in him, and bro was the underdog. Bro was the underdog in the story. He was always punching up. He didn't have no advantages. The world was against him. Fuck that, bro.
Keeping that in mind, standing on stage isn't so scary after all. An inspiration like this can come in all shapes and sizes, like not holding on to grudges after watching Thorfinn denounce his violent urges for revenge, vowing that he has no enemies. Maybe you have a comparable motivation,
Oh,
like wanting to
PNG
try
lock,
harder after
PNG
watching
lock.
the characters in Blue Lock, a series where a cast of soccer players metaphorically cannibalize each other in order to be the best.
Yeah.
And you become infected by Yoichi Isagi's toxic determination. It could even be subconscious, like seeing how much of a bad hand Spider-Man gets dealt in every piece of media he's in, but he still uses his resource and power to help the people around him. Having a fictional character who inspires you can shift how you simply see everyday life. Their journey can hit you at your core, and maybe something that you used to consider inconceivable because of your own limitations can actually be started today. Hell, I'm sure despite people more than likely not being able to turn Super Saiyan, Dragon Ball has filled gyms with giving people motivation to start a fitness journey.
absolutely.
And if the search results that come up under Dragon Ball
Absolutely,
Z
bro.
workout are any indication
The point is, motherfuckers will train to do that Kamehameha one day, even though they know they can't, but they train to be able to do it one day. They train to be a Super Saiyan.
that isn't a small number. Being able to look at who you are, who you want to be, or what you want to do while just watching a show, playing a game, reading a book, it can very well change your life. the road feels so much less daunting.
Up to a point again, it becomes dangerous when you get lost in those worlds and you live only in your head and in those worlds. Because it's good when you take something from the story, from the character, and inspiration, and actually apply it. But that's easier said than done.
Because even if you aren't trying to be the king of all magic users without the ability to use magic, seeing a character that gets nervous like you, makes you want to be kind, or makes you want to work harder, it's just so cool. It makes you feel...
Why be kind though? Because it's free to be kind, but it's also free to be a hater. Why not make the world interesting? Why not be that villain in the story? Because everyone needs a villain in a story. Why won't you be that villain in someone's story? Motivate people. Go out there. Be that out of this world character that someone needs to motivate themselves. Be that villain in the story. You can do it.
a little bit more understood by the world. But that's not the
There is
only
a
power
moth
a fictional character
stuck
can have on you.
between the
They not
window
only make
and
you
the
feel understood
window
and
covers.
seen, but also make
Bro
you
is
understand the world
doing
around
something.
you. Your brain can process fictional characters like they're yourself, but the other half of that coin is that they file under the same category as friends or family. To explain what this is leading to, let me first tell you what a parasocial relationship is. I started reading Sakamoto Days
Yeah.
last year, and I
Parasocial
like it quite a
relationships.
bit. Published in Weekly Shonen Jump, following a former assassin turned convenience store owner, which if you've ever worked customer service, you know that tends to be the other way around. The story has such incredible action set pieces where different people in a secret assassination industry tear through their environments trying to take each other down. Well, that is a fantastic reason to stick around. I read every week because of my favorite character, Akira Akao. While fully capable in her own right to perform right
Bro has a type.
alongside these natural disaster turned killing machines,
Yes, a type.
she is more so an absolute anxiety-filled mess of a person that one more inconvenience or surprise may very well just turn her into a puddle. I don't really relate to her as I can't stow a parachute while falling from an exploding plane, and I can't say she's particularly inspiring as I'm more than capable of having my own panic attacks. It was a personal experience that created a bond with Akira. I want her to be plot relevant, I want things to go well for her.
Wow,
arc.
I thought she would be blonde. She is not blonde. I am hereby. Is the camera dead? Why is the camera dead? What? There is a fly on the camera. How long is bro been there? What? Okay, sure.
I care about this fictional character, these lines on a paper that are to be interpreted as a person because, well,
I
she
thought she would
reminds
be
me of
blonde.
my D&D character. Mavis, like Akira, can fight to the death a hell of a lot better than she can present a school project to her class,
Bro,
which makes
he has
for
a
really
D&D character.
interesting and engaging encounters. I mean, I enjoy it so much that she ended up becoming my YouTube mascot.
You derived
I mean,
that from this?
I enjoy it so much that she ended up becoming my YouTube mascot.
Yeah, I can see it.
Now, when I
I
see
can see it.
Akira, I see Mavis and all the fun I had with her, and vice versa. A real experience and a personal preference made me care about a character in a way that's pretty similar to finding out someone has the same hobby as you. To address the elephant in the room, there are some really awful connotations of the term as it is typically used alongside celebrities and internet personalities who don't want everyone that enjoys what they do to consider them a friend.
Yeah.
But the phenomenon itself is not inherently bad, especially when placed in strictly fictional media. You
Oh, even then it can be dangerous. Even if it's placed in a purely fictional media, bro. Believe me, it can be fucking dangerous. You don't want to go that deep.
aren't weird for forming some form of friendship with any of the characters on screen. You're acting exactly how the author wanted you to. Anytime you feel happy for a character's victory, sad for them when they experience heartbreak, or dread a tragedy that you know is coming, that is some form of bond at work. If there wasn't an attachment, you wouldn't feel real emotions when seeing
Frieren was pick and JJK was mid. Believe it or not.
their story unfold. And this experience isn't limited to only people who take anime or novels too seriously. Chances are a video game has made you feel this exact way too. A favorite video game character doesn't just become a part of your identity the same way a main or virtual mascot does. The nature of video games being interactive mediums means that any form of bond can run much deeper due to the level of
I have to
interactivity
play
that
a
goes
near
into
game,
the
bro.
experience.
I have to.
Persona is a game series with over 25 million lifetime copies sold and has Metacritic scores that would place it in high honors if we were treating these like grades.
Yeah.
The latest 3 installments are half about exploring some other supernatural world, whether that be through a TV, a phone app that manifests corrupt desires, or our world distorting itself during a secret 25th hour. The other half is how you manage your social life with a limited amount of in-game time slots.
Oh yeah, the whole 360. I don't know how long, but the day aspects of Persona, bro, hit me. And for Persona 3, I forgot to save and wiped 3 hours of progress. I was angry.
While there are gameplay benefits, at least in the 5th game, the main reason you pick social links to progress is almost purely based on your personal preference. If you don't go into the other world, you get 2 time slots a day to either use to make yourself more socially desirable or to spend time with people your character is forming a bond with. So it's up to you whose story you as a protagonist see resolved. Want to see what really happens when that guy actually asked out his teacher? Want to see the first person who showed you kindness to get back on his track team?
That's the reason why I don't actually want to get into those games. That's the reason why I haven't finished Cyberpunk yet. Because I want to see everything. I want to explore everything. And I get annoyed when I don't explore everything. Every side street, every random side character. I get annoyed when I don't see that. And I feel if I progress further, I am locked from doing something else. I know that's bad, but fuck gaming.
The Persona series puts you in a blank canvas with suggested characteristics not only to make you more immersed and connected to the avatar you'll be piloting, but also because the character-based experience comes from bonding with these people. It's all up to you and what you yourself want to do, as without your direct choices, you don't get to see the conclusion of a character's arc. And because of those choices, your playthrough becomes a little more unique each time you play. When you choose to spend your time with one character, you are essentially losing out any other person in the cast. You are picking what bonds you are nurturing and what relationships
That's why
you are
I
locking
haven't
away.
played through the games.
Going even further, romance mechanics in games are a more elevated version of this. Romancing a character provides very little gameplay benefits no matter who you romance in the grand majority of games. It is not a choice that will make your game any easier or harder, but what it will do is make your journey as your character all the more personal to you. We see this in games like Baldur's Gate 3. No matter the character, the imagined backstory of a custom avatar, or the pre-written and established plot of a Dark Urge, they all start the same. And despite the other choices left in my wake, the one that said the most about me and my character was the time spent bonding with one of the party members, Shadowheart. I do not know what any other companion's ending looks like, but my journey through this game concluded with the character I myself chose to end it with. And while for both Baldur's Gate 3 and Persona, these are just additional systems that are meant to make you more immersed and give you a break from the primary offerings of the game.
But that's largely what matters to me. How the story is progressing and where it ends. The gameplay is neither here nor there. I get frustrated during gameplay. The story is what's keeping me there and what's preventing me from actually playing the game. It sucks.
Otome games and other dating simulators are all about getting to know characters as a central mechanic. While Persona, you can really min-max your time like a little freak and see everything, even at a cost. Visual novels have entire storylines called routes that tell different narratives based on who you want to get to know or romance. The game is literally asking you which stories you want to see and what content you are deciding to go without. This assumes that visual novel fans don't play every route to see every story, and also assumes visual novels don't make stories that require a playthrough of every route to know the full.
Haha! I got you there. The only visual novel I can remember playing in recent memory is Everlasting Flowers, and that had one pet. One pet. And it was fun. The translation was shit. I still think I have screenshots of the dumb translation. but it was good. I like it. I liked it. It was pretty much nothing burger at the end, but I like it.
picture. Please do not make this assumption. This is a fool's assumption. Having this
No,
one-sided
that is not
dynamic
the
with a
fool's
character can
assumption.
be fantastic as it truly lets the story hook into your soul and gives you something to carry with you. A care, no matter the depth, exists. Of course,
Can you actually save her on the first playthrough? I don't remember. I don't think you can save her on the first playthrough.
it doesn't have to say something deep about you on a
And to be honest, no one, absolutely no one went with her on the first playthrough. Everyone went with Yuri.
psychological or neurological level every time you have a favorite character. One of my favorite characters is Shogo Makishima from Psycho-Pass. Someone whose entire thing is not feeling bad about
Haven't
killing in a
watched.
world that claims it can detect if you are willing to commit a crime and then punishes you as if you did. I like him for his on-screen charisma and the way he turns the story into his own narrative of rebellion, fighting against a corrupt system with his own brand of corruption. He's far from being like me, and I also probably wouldn't want to hang out with him either because he's kind of literally evil. Satoru Gojo from Jujutsu Kaisen isn't evil, but he's also one of my favorite characters for reasons that aren't that deep and personal.
Because he's Gojo, and because he's Gojo. That's why he's your favorite. Because he's Gojo. Is he your favorite character because he's Satoru Gojo, or is he Satoru Gojo because he is your favorite character?
Sometimes you can like a character just because they're cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be that deep, but it's
Too bad he was so broken. He had to be written off of the story, man. Too bad. Everyone glazed him, though. Everyone fucking glazed him.
beautiful that it can be. Fictional characters are a powerful vehicle that can make you understand yourself and others better, make you feel less lonely, or deliver a message. When I started researching this idea for a video, I thought it was going to be a little romp where you can have a different favorite character for different reasons. Maybe you relate to one, you think one is cool, maybe you're traditionally attracted to one. But the
Yeah. But bro stopped coping. You aren't allowed to comment about this. Everything I'm doing is commenting about that. Bro has a type.
But the more I researched, the more I talked to my friends, the more I explored this topic, which somehow led me to papers on neurological studies and essays about the importance of the world not treating people like an oddity. I think I have a grasp on just how
I'm so mad that I'm fucking dyslexic and I can't read more than a page, bro. If I could, believe me, I would sit down and read psychological studies and whatever and go down rabbit holes. I just physically can't. And I
powerful the
can,
answer to
but
the
it takes
question I
way too
asked
much
at the
effort.
start is. There is such a beautiful light to the fact that simple words on a page, drawings on a screen, a 3D model puppeteered to move like a person, or an actor dressed up to look a little less real can have such a profound effect on us. So much so that our brain tells us that we are either experiencing the actions of another person or seeing a reflection of ourselves. I may not know why your favorite character is your favorite character, but now I know why mine is.
Nice.
Video games are getting
Nice. That was a nice video. Bro has a type. Bro sounds like and Venom too much though. Why is that thing doing that? What? Let me see. That's the YouTube chat. What? That's random. Okay, let's go back to watching videos. I like this video. I now know why my favorite character is my favorite character. So, this is the End Venom video? Yeah, that was the End Venom video. So, do we go Gunner? Do we go football? Or do we go deep dive? I'm not going with the deep dive into something or other, or no. Just no. The cat broke the internet. I think this is some Gunner shit. Sure. Let's just say the Gunner stuff.
Baby, rules matter. And when it comes
Oh, it's a woman? Our opinion not valid, bro. Opinion not valid.
to the internet, few matter as much as Rule 34. In
Rule 34, for those who don't know, is if it exists, there is porno of it. The more you know.
2021, an Animal Crossing porn parody inexplicably blew up online after it was shoved in front of the wrong audience, resulting in a bizarre domino effect that awoke thousands to a catgirl hypnosis fetish, briefly resurrected the career of a Croatian pop star
Who is that?
from the 80s, and was
is
perhaps
that
the
man?
only time in history where people's moms were unknowingly sending hentai references in the family group chat.
Bro, that fly is
What I'm
really
saying
annoying.
is,
What?
millions of people
It's
accidentally
November.
collaborated
Die
to
already.
manifest the biggest goon meme of all time. But how could something like this actually happen? This is the unbelievable story of Newgrounds, Onkazone, and you. This is Bad Art History.
Okay, sure.
If you clicked on this video, chances are high that the phrase Onkazone stirred up something in you or attached to you.
Nope, absolutely not. I have seen the character, didn't know where it was from, didn't care to know where it was from. I just know it existed.
But if you've never heard of this, it's a meme from a 2021 adult animation of the villager from Animal Crossing getting it on with Anka, the humanoid cat girl. So far, so internet. But on September
Yeah.
3rd, 2021, for reasons no one understands, a twisted genius randomly remembered the song from the Animal Crossing porno and uploaded it to TikTok, where it blew up. And that was the beginning of the
What
end.
was the
because as
song?
the song racked up
What was the song? What? People from Ibiza. What?
millions of views on YouTube. For several tragic weeks, oblivious TikTok users and Facebook aunties alike were sending everyone they knew
What was
a
the
deceptively
song?
cute video of a dancing cat. So what was actually going on here? There have been dirtier memes and catchier songs.
Yeah.
And Anka isn't even close to the most popular Animal Crossing character to get this.
Who is the whole thing, let one without sin cast the first stone, but you people, you people are sick. Just end it. Or stop. It's the same. Tonight's the night.
Treatment. Well, it turns out the answer lies deeper. Because for 20
Bro, that fucking fly, I will end your existence. I will end your fucking existence.
26 long, hard years, a series of horny internet phenomena were slowly lining up for Onkazone to explode. And if that sounds crazy, put on your tinfoil hat, lock your bedroom door, and enable cruise control, because
Okay.
it's time to talk about a website called Newgrounds.
Newgrounds. Big fiction.
Before we get into the monstrosity that brought you Numa Numa, Smiling Friends, and terabytes of animated cartoon porn, super quick timeline. January 2017. South Korean adult animator -8 uploads onkaride.swift. And remember this SWIFT file format because it's going to be very important.
Swift? What the fuck is Swift?
Then, January 2021,
Some
the
flash file?
artist Zone Sama, famous for numerous contributions to Newgrounds and YouTube, uploads Onkazone as an homage to -8's creation. Now, as for Newgrounds itself, it's a website known for its irreverent attitude and thousands of culture-defining flash games and animations.
Yeah.
And even if you've never been on it, you felt its influence. From Salad Fingers to Peanut Butter Jelly Time to All Your Base or Belong to Us to the Teen
All Your
Titans
Base.
parody that was the awakening for every online male in 2007. All were either from or
think I know what
popularized
she's actually
via
talking about.
Newgrounds. And in case you
Sadly.
don't see where this is going, the Teen Titans parody, the Jenny the Teenage Robot video that royally pissed off Viacom, and Onkazone
I
were
don't know
all
the-
made by
the
one
other one.
person and all came from this website. But how did we get here? Unceremoniously pooped out onto the World Wide Web on July 6, 1995 by a teenage Tom Fulp. What began as a love letter to the Neo Geo console series quickly turned into two controversial flash games, Assassin and
Assassin.
Club
What was Bin Laden doing there? What? New victims of Bin Laden. Tons of games and movies. Numbers. What? What?
and
Bill Gates. and was that Gaben? No, that was actually Bill Gates. Why did this look like Gaben to me for a nanosecond? What?
and club a seal. You can imagine what the gameplay looked like, foreshadowing the iconic "screw you" attitude that would define a generation. Fulp thoughtfully
I miss that generation. I miss edgy internet. I miss everything's too politically correct now.
considered the hate mail being sent to him by those who felt that his games were mean-spirited, and then displayed it on his site for laughs. From here, to paraphrase his own words, Newground had taken on a solid form, kind of like how digested food becomes a turd. And this turd proved very appetizing, as through the late 90s, Newgrounds rapidly cultivated an edgy user base while trying, in vain, not to lose advertisers. Why a brand wouldn't want to appear on the website where you can play man wearing exploding vest walking into a store simulator is anyone's guess. But then, 1998
Honestly, why? Why would I would want to advertise my shampoo there?
rolls around and lawsuit. After Fulp uploaded an animation depicting the Teletubbies coping with crippling drug addiction and alcoholism, the British public was so offended by this portrayal of their greatest cultural export that the BBC sued.
Bro, the Teletubbies were so creepy. I remember watching them as a kid. As a child. As a kid, what the fuck am I even saying? And just... wow. Now I look at that and I'm like, what the fuck was I on watching that? What? I remember I even had birthday cakes decorated with Teletubbies when I was young. I mean, I don't remember. I've seen photos. You can't really remember stuff when you were 3 years old. But what was I on
Copyright grounds and lost. That is American free use law.
Nice.
Over the next decade, Fulp and his close-knit team worked tirelessly to keep the website afloat through ballooning server costs caused by thousands of game, music, and video submissions, dictating a large share of edgy internet humor along the way, and in so doing, setting themselves up for potential disaster. And speaking of potential disaster, it's a big internet out there, and honestly, have you ever tried Googling yourself? You'd be
Okay, it's
shocked
delete
at
me.
how much of your
Right.
personal information is freely available.
It's delete me.
Aura is a VPN.
Aura?
Broker
It's a
ton
VPN?
Aura
What?
price. Want to? Just done. Enough time. Go to
And,
Aura.
and what kind of off-brand VPN is this? What? Non-sponsor, just get Molvet. You can buy it with crypto. Just get Molvet VPN. They don't sell your data. They don't care about you. They don't care about nothing. Just get Molvet VPN.
.com/Frankie to personal data out there on the internet was a slowly multiplying species of human being who stood to benefit like no one ever had from one of Newgrounds' most basic features.
What are her nails though? What? I'm not really a nail scientist, but what? How can that be practical? Anyways.
Shockwave support. Why does that matter? Because what Fire did for the human race, Flash Player did for Coomers. Coomers and Gooners. Two
Coomers and
pejorative internet terms.
Gunner. Completely addicted. Okay, what's a Coomer? Who lives in front of his PC all day? Huh.
That largely describe
The more I
same
know now.
thing. A person, usually male, who is dangerously addicted to adult content. And with Newgrounds' robust support of the SWIFT, aka Shockwave file format, and the SWIFT's popularity in adult animations and games, it's no surprise that hundreds of adult artists found their audience on this website. Now, I obviously can't show you
Hey, it's a
why
free world.
this format
It's
works
a free
so well.
world.
So think of it like this. A SWIFT is a container file that uses vectors. Kind of like a set of instructions
Yeah.
that tell an object where to move, where to rotate, or where to bounce up and down crazy style for 4.5 minutes. What animators may lose in terms of visual detail with this method, they often make up for with ease of animation. Combine that with motion tweens, a bouncy, elastic animation style infamous for its use in adult material, and you get the picture. And if you don't, I can only direct you with extreme caution.
Don't do that. Don't direct people there. Don't. Just don't go there. It's not worth it.
To the Incredible Gassy or the Spider-Man Backshots GIF. The Shockwave format's small file size and widespread compatibility at the time made it easy to upload adult content.
I'm sad Flash died. Yeah. Adobe. They're piece of shit. I'm just sad Flash died.
content in that format anywhere it was permitted, especially on a website that gave as few fucks as Newgrounds. And this is where the rubber meets the road. In late 2006, a user going by Zone Sama would make a Newgrounds account, blowing up almost immediately because of her uncanny ability to imitate the art style of existing shows. In 2007, Zone was already blazing new ground and providing Raven and Starfire fans with the highest quality goon material they had ever seen in their lives. Her Jenny the Teenage
It holds up even today.
Robot video so closely resembled the actual show that Viacom forced her to take it down under threat of legal action. And fun fact, this thing is still haunting Nickelodeon because as recently as 2022, the developers of fighting game Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl were forced to remove one of Jenny's voice lines because of its inescapable association with the porn video.
You wouldn't like my brain. It's all circuity and metallic.
Why did I remember that video now? Oh, why? 10 years ago, internet. Why? I thought I haven't seen that video. I'm sad now.
If that's not a sign you made it, I don't know what is.
I'm
Between
sad
her
now.
mascot, Zontan,
It's pronounced Zone Tan.
and the wildly popular ZTV animated series, Zone had quickly carved out a niche as one of the most prolific adult artists online.
I am now a fan of ZTV. Here's the reason.
That Windows 8, by the
Because
way.
of this hot, sexy character.
Get the End Venom sounding guy from the last video. He would like her.
But you may have noticed that we completely glossed over the fact that eons ago, a list of rules of the internet were carved into stone on a
Do not. Wait. Do not talk about /b, blah blah blah. Don't do that. All your picked blah 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 blah. I'm dyslexic and I hate reading. If you can,
on a
if you can
website
tell.
that can't go 2 seconds without
Ow.
talking about fluids, religious minorities, and autism. And no,
What, Twitter?
it's not 4chan. See, as Rule 37 clearly states, there are no women on the internet.
Yes.
Or are there? Rule 34, and also 1 through 33 and 35 through whatever. If I can be honest, the reason I've name dropped Rule 34 without offering a definition is because, frankly,
You know,
everyone and their mother knows what it means.
I did her a solid and I explained it, so you're welcome. If you're new here, why are you here?
If it exists, there's part of it. Skibbity Toilet, the John Goodman dinosaur in 1993 smash hit, We're Back, the Microsoft paperclip. Without much exaggeration,
Clippy Mpreg, no. Nope. That's too deep. Roll it back up, go home. We are done here.
if you can imagine it, it's out there. And when it comes to popular franchises, there's
That rule might actually be misleading. There might not actually be nothing. Believe me, you have to try, but it's possible. There is possible for there to be nothing.
a whole cottage industry of source filmmaker animators who pay their bills using freely available software to animate every character from every game doing everything.
I'm so sad I never learned source filmmaker, bro. I'm so sad the only experience in 3D animation I have is Cinema 4D. I hate Cinema 4D. I have to try using source filmmaker. I have to learn 3D animation. AI will surpass me on the way there, but I will try one day, maybe. Alongside my other full bucket list of aspirations I will never live up to. Such is life.
Major game studios are now so aware of this phenomenon that some play into it in their own marketing.
Bro, you can't just put Overwatch there. You can't. Some characters I can read because I'm dyslexic, has grippers. Drop a foot if you're hyped. Kiriko's new skin. Kiriko. I know who's Kiriko. Yeah, I know Kiriko. Like a good 6 out of 10. Damn, though. Nothing to fit, but hey, you must respect the art.
Some allegedly, have even been accused of making overly anatomically detailed character models.
Oh yeah, the Marvel Rivals models were allegedly so good and so just peak quality that that artists like rejoiced. Artists actually clapped. Artists were hyped when they cracked the encryption on the models in like a day, and they were just. I'm sure they made someone out there really happy, even though the character designs in the game is, not so good.
Knowing what people do with them. All this to say, from the sanctioned Rule 34 sites to the rise of animated clips being hosted on traditional platforms, it was merely a matter of time before Anka, the Egyptian cat girl with the resting bitch face, would get the same
was that
treatment.
cut there?
And you must
What?
be thinking, yeah, this is very obvious. Why would anyone even need to spell out the concept of Rule 34? People have been making smut since cave times. But that's the thing. Grug didn't have access to the internet, which means someone in your lifetime had to be the first guy online to make this observation and name it. On August 13th, 2003, in yet another demonic act committed by a British person, the author of the webcomic Zoom Out made this panel. Depicting his devastation at finding erotic art of Calvin and Hobbes, he dubbed this phenomenon Rule 34 of the internet. And this was so self-evident, it blew
What are other 33 rules before that? No one knows. No one cares.
people's minds. It fundamentally changed the way we talk about this stuff online. By 2006, contributors to the aforementioned satire site Encyclopedia Dramatica sourced all sorts of internet truisms from 4chan threads, anonymous IRC chats, and even 4chan daddy, Chris Poole himself.
The rules were created by the man to keep you down. They don't actually exist.
The resulting list became the rules of the internet. And its staying power lies in the fact that not only does it explain every single thing uploaded to DeviantArt, it's actually a very insightful commentary.
Too bad DeviantArt is not what it used to be. That and Pinterest. Are you real? Nope. What? Me real? No. What the fuck?
On human behavior. Don't believe me? Okay. Rule 43. The more beautiful and pure a thing is, the more satisfying it is to corrupt. Consider the cult fandom around fluffy pony abuse. A collection of illustrations and fanfics loosely based on My Little Pony, wherein these cloyingly cute pony homunculus creatures, which only want love and cannot possibly defend themselves, are subjected to extreme torture. Or maybe Rule 42, nothing is sacred. Religion, tragedy, the miracle of life, none of it is too untouchable to avoid becoming gay 9/11 Shrek pregnancy fan art. You know, the amount of times that I invoke 9/11 in these videos is getting like disrespectful. And we
To what? They're dead, they don't care.
Can't forget Rule 35. In the extremely rare case that no explicit content exists about something,
it will be made.
It will. And to speedrun the rest.
But it will, but not in time, sadly.
Of this list, 40.
I can't find what the
One.
Another kid deletes to zero.
Everything is somebody's fetish.
What?
47. You're probably never getting laid. And this brings us back to Rule 37. There are no girls on the internet. I'm gonna be so real for a second. Women have been on the internet.
Women don't exist. Women are just figments made by the government to control us. Women don't exist. I've never met a woman. That they don't exist. The same as pigeons. You see them, but you know they are not real. You know they are drones controlled by the government.
Internet forever. Though women probably found themselves in the minority for most of the internet's lifetime, and the women behind anonymous accounts were likely assumed male unless stated otherwise. But the female share of the internet is growing, and if you think that the majority of people
and is it a coincidence that as AI is getting better, there's more women on the internet? I would not say so. Women are a government propaganda, probably made by Israel. I don't know, bro. He have to mention something controversial somewhere. women are government drones made to control us. Prove me wrong.
Flooding the web with yaoi, dress-up games, and slash fics since the 90s. Men? You're crazy. Now, when it comes to the
Yeah, they're made by the government, even more.
more
So,
hardcore visual stuff, especially when it comes to content demonstrating extreme views about women's bodies, it's safe to assume most of it is by men for men. Also, real quick on the topic of real-life harm. I wasn't sure where in the video to mention this, but you should be aware that -8, the artist responsible for the 2017 Anka
did Brock kill himself? Did he do it?
Ride animation torpedoed his career due to openly being kind of a torpedo.
What? To be honest, I imagine her. Okay. Okay. Did he kill himself though?
Obviously,
What?
career due to openly being kind of a torpedo himself. Obviously, separating art from artist is an individual choice. But when a person who makes explicit content expresses opinions about little kids, it's almost always a very, very, very bad sign.
I hope they lock him
let's
up.
return to Anka and Newgrounds. What exactly was that impending disaster about to hit Newgrounds? By the mid-20s,
Is that the Vista start menu? Is that the Vista start menu? No, that's the Windows 7 start menu. Huh. It would if that's the Vista icon though. What? Is that Vista? I don't
to
know.
hit Newgrounds. By the mid-2010s, the commitment to free speech and shock humor that once set Newgrounds apart was going out of style. And it was also
Sadly.
around this time that
Oh, take
Tumblr,
me
with
back.
its reputation for a large female user
Yeah, even Tumblr is not what it used to be. Man.
base, social activism, and complete inability to stop engaging the trolls, saw its peak usership. And one of Tumblr's biggest draws, ironically, was that it permitted all sorts of not safe for work material. So in 2018, when Tumblr abruptly banned such content, it experienced an apocalyptic exodus of users from which it would never recover. And
Sadly.
sensing this huge opportunity to revive its
We
declining
lost a soldier
cultural
that day.
relevance, Newgrounds casually let Twitter know that they would never, ever implement such a ban, and it had never been less over. The pieces were all lining up. And in 2020, when billions
The video is about a cat, by the way. We are 15 minutes in. I still have no explanation of how someone's aunt shared that cat around.
found themselves locked inside with only the internet, TikTok, and their right hand to
Hey, the hit or miss girl. Remember her? Yeah, you're fucking old.
entertain themselves. The release of Animal Crossing New Horizons was an unbelievable success. I can't stress enough, in early 2020, hundreds of millions of people became very online for the first time. And in a once-in-a-lifetime planetary alignment of a bored, lonely, horny, captive audience, an explosively popular game, and an app known for churning out viral sensations, AnkaZone was in the right place at the right time. In the
Why
space
did you
of
have to be
days,
made?
the backing track to the AnkaZone video went mega viral, and how people found their way to Newgrounds, to Zone, to the Animal Crossing hentai that started it all, to a hypnosis fetish, and possibly even to discovering that they were a furry, is no mystery. Oh my god, I totally forgot to mention, Google searches for Rule 34 like exploded like vertically in 2020. I'm gonna
No shit. Yeah, the water is green. Take.
drop it somewhere early in their video. Oh my god. I cannot believe I forgot to mention this.
Yeah,
and
water
that
is
leaves
green,
only
take.
one loose end. What about the guy that made the song? Does he know?
Fiddle
Did his
Dance Classic
grandkids have the
from
heart to tell him?
festival.
Well, no one knows
What?
that. But we do
What
know
is the
this.
song?
Croatian-born singer, songwriter, and guitarist Alexander Martin, stage name Sandy Martin, spent much of his youth in Italy due to his father's employment at the Yugo-Potamian embassy in that country. After being scouted by a talent agent seeking the next teen heartthrob, Sandy enjoyed a brief career in the Italian pop scene between 1983 and 1994, announcing an official retirement in 2005 due to health issues. Hopefully, the former pop star, now in his 60s, remains
blah, blah, blah,
blissfully
blah, blah,
unaware
blah,
of his
something,
legacy.
something
But the
blow up,
fact is,
something
camel by
can break.
camel, and its covers have accrued upwards of 50 million views on YouTube alone. And the reason aside, if young Sandy Martin could see the hit that his song would become, he probably wouldn't object. But at the end of the day, the rules of the internet, thorough as they are in making this entire thing make sense, actually have one major flaw when it comes to explaining online goonery. So I propose a Rule 48. When looking up your favorite character, curiosity really does kill the cat. This has been Bad Art History.
Title misleading, but she a woman, her opinion doesn't matter anyways. Yeah. I already knew the history of goonage on the internet. I already knew everything. And she didn't really explain why the cat did what the cat did. Honestly, sure, it's a nice video. Yeah. Smash. And let's watch the football thing. Let's watch the football thing, bro. It's 7 hours ago, actually, this video. What? Hey, man, thank you, YouTube recommended. Thank you.
Let the what talk? Hey.
Let the ball talk.
Over the last
Sure.
weeks, you may have seen some political football-related memes. For example, Erling Haaland photoshopped into some unique drip. He plays for Norway, a country which has held massive
Yeah, bro, sure you did that. This
has held massive pro-Palestinian protests recently. Therefore, Oslo last Saturday held probably the second most politicized sporting event of recent times. Norway versus Israel. And I only say second most because the same European World Cup qualifiers competition, European, they also held this match.
No, that's... Oh... I mean, where was it played? I hope it wasn't Serbia or Albania, because... Ooh, and I hope security was up to par, bro. You haven't experienced dread and, you know, being scared for your life until you've been close to a game between this is multinational in Serbia, between two Serbian teams. You don't want to be in the audience watching the game live. The chances are big you will end up in the middle of a fight and you will have a few broken ribs. Such is sports around here.
Who allowed this? Who let this happen, bro? Can you imagine organizing the security
This was an inside
for
job.
Serbia versus Albania? We are genuinely lucky a fucking nuke didn't go off during this match. And talking about nuking, I want to point out how Israel, for some reason, is always counted in European events. Judging by the political views most European countries have against Middle Eastern people coming to their countries right now, can you imagine the backlash if Syria or Lebanon or Palestine played in European football tournaments? By the way, all these countries are to some level occupied by Israel. So if you use the mainstream argument, they should play under the blue and white flag, my friend. It's all Israel. That's why we wear these patches on our official military uniforms. Greater Israel, the end goal of maximalist Zionism. And if you disagree, we will simply just eliminate every single athlete you have. Israel is a bit like my friend from Georgia, right? Because whenever it's convenient for him to be Asian, he'll present himself as Asian. Same with Israel. This was always our land for thousands of years. It was our ancestral land. That's
it was promised to us 3,000 years ago.
Exactly why we all get skin cancer from the sun, because we're all naturally meant to be here. In fact, we are the only democratic Middle Eastern nation. We are the saviors of the Arab world. But also, just like my Georgian mate, whenever it's convenient for him to be European, what are you even talking about this word Asia? This word is not even in my vocabulary. We have every right to compete in the European World Cup qualifiers competition, or Eurovision, the European singing contest. What the
I mean, wasn't Australia in Eurovision? I mean, Eurovision is a bit of a
Israel
meme.
doing in Eurovision, bro? Last year they came second, mainly because every single year Netanyahu's government runs a literal propaganda campaign to get votes in Eurovision because this
Britain always gets destroyed at Eurovision though. But yeah.
really helps is
We haven't sent anyone in a while. Why? Why haven't we sent anyone in a while? I mean, I guess we're too busy. I don't know what we're doing, bro.
Israel's presence get normalized within European entertainment, TV, your brain, and eventually your political opinions. Israel literally rig Eurovision every single year.
Yesterday, wanted criminal Benjamin Netanyahu talked to the Israeli Eurovision representative and told her Israel is the rightful winner of Eurovision and that Israel is going to finish the job in Gaza. Officially, politicization of Eurovision isn't allowed, and yet the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Deputy Foreign Minister, the Israeli embassies and ambassadors around the world, official state accounts, and Netanyahu himself told people to vote 20 times with a campaign led by the Israeli government advertising agency. For days, the state of Israel posted almost nothing except Eurovision promotional content.
Okay, they're tryharding a bit too much. You don't need to try hard that much, man. You just don't.
Eurovision is clearly part of a formal government PR campaign, and the people listened, winning Israel first place in the televote. But there's something odd about the numbers. In the final, Belgium gave Israel 12 points, but we can see that in the last 2 years, since Israel has been running this campaign, the number of viewers in Belgium has halved, but somehow the number of televotes has nearly doubled. Generally, pro-Palestinian Slovenia hasn't given Israel a single televote point in the final for over a decade, not even when Israel won the contest. But now suddenly Slovenians are voting for Israel in droves, and Ireland, who almost never votes for Israel, is now giving them top
They are
points.
tryharding a bit too much.
Politicians are using this manufactured vote to convince the world that Israel is actually very popular in Europe, even though the polls show that most Europeans dislike Israel and
Most Europeans don't care about Israel, man. Not that they dislike, they don't care about Israel.
want them out of Eurovision.
Doing this is completely illegal.
They hate them because they don't care about them. It's not really hate in the sense of, oh, I immensely dislike that. It's, what the fuck are you doing here? Type of hate.
For the contest, by the way. However, they have not been disqualified for it at all, not once. Instead, the EBU disqualifies my goat Joost Klein after he says a couple of minorly slightly passive-aggressive words against the Israeli contestant.
Have you ever thought that by being here, you bring risk and danger for other participants?
What? These two words are not official reason given. Wait. What is he even saying, bro? What?
Have you ever thought that by being here, you bring risk and danger for other participants and public?
You don't have to answer that question if you don't want to.
Why not?
This favoritism is common practice in Western entertainment. Israel has massive financial stakes in.
Wasn't this video about football though? Bro, it's just shit talking Israel. I mean, yeah, I'm sure I'm all for it, but where is the football talk, man?
Not only Western entertainment companies, but also simply Western countries themselves. 77% of America's state representatives receive money from AIPAC, Israel's America lobby. Typically, the presidential candidate who receives the most money from AIPAC usually wins the election.
Today, AIPAC.
Yeah.
On Capitol Hill, AIPAC.
AIPAC. You may have heard our name, but how much do you really know about AIPAC? AIPAC is an American organization that works to strengthen the U.S.-Israel relationship. This partnership advances America's interests and democratic values.
I guess the memes are true. The Dr. Doom is attacking the city. Don't worry, I've sent 20 billion to Israel. Are the memes really true? What?
Helps keep Israel safe. Our 5 million members are U.S. citizens, Democrats and Republicans from every part of the country who urge our elected leaders to enact pro-Israel policies. This includes expanding America's defense partnership with Israel, supporting life-saving security assistance, confronting Iran and its terror proxies, and promoting peace and normalization. Being pro-Israel is good policy, and AIPAC members make sure it's good politics too. We raise money to help elect pro-Israel candidates for Congress from both parties, and we take the political fight to our opponents, helping defeat anti-Israel candidates running for the House or Senate. AIPAC is leading the fight in Washington to secure the future of the U.S.-Israel relationship. The actions of pro-Israel Americans today will help determine the future of this bond and the fate of both countries.
Here is Trump.
They are actually tryharding too much. They are actually tryharding too much, bro. What? What's that tryhard? Why? Who hurt you? I mean, yeah, it was promised to them by God 5,000 years ago.
Week, genuinely on his hands and knees for Bibi.
Why don't you give him a pardon? And let me also give a very special thanks to someone who truly loves Israel so much that my daughter converted. I'm proud to be the best friend that Israel has ever had, and they all say it. I authorized the spending of billions of dollars which went to Israel's defense, as you know. I mean, Bibi would call me so many times, can you get me this weapon, that weapon, that weapon? Some of them I never heard of, Bibi, and I made them. But we'd get them here, wouldn't we? Huh? And they are the best. They are the best. But you used them well. It also takes people that know how to use them. And you obviously used them very well. But so many that Israel became strong and powerful, which ultimately led to peace. That's what led to peace.
If any of you are wondering, by the way, the peace deal is an absolute load of cap. It's totally one-sided. Most Palestinians are already completely disarmed, apart from the radical proxy groups who are funded by Israel. However, there's no ceasefire. They are still doing lovely things.
If we could get your reaction.
This movie didn't even know they did 100 strikes.
The Israelis, a hospital in Gaza.
Isn't this a football video, my man? What?
20 people, including 5 journalists. When did this happen? This happened overnight, today. I didn't know that. Any reaction to this? Are you going to talk to the Prime Minister? I don't want to see it. At the same time, we have to end that whole nightmare. I'm the one that got the hostages out. I got them out. All of them.
Hostages freed just means now anywhere in Gaza can be struck with no backlash from the Israeli public. Maybe let's also compare the state of each side's hostages and how can we talk about aid being let into Gaza when less than half the promised aid trucks are actually being allowed past the border. Also, how can we talk about the area being safe when the homes are now
1.9 million people displaced, over 80% of homes badly damaged or destroyed. Homes. I said I'm dyslexic. What?
Mainly all unstable piles of rubble. There's no hospitals, libraries, schools, all whilst the average Gazan male age is now 14. Oh, and most importantly though,
this bro is just shit talking them, but wow. Okay.
Remember, Americans, just remember, the real saviors, the real people you should be bowing down to right now and thanking.
Qatar was a tremendous help to getting this done. I hope people can realize that. And it was very tough and very dangerous for Qatar. They were very brave, and their leader, the Emir, was very, very brave. And Qatar should start getting some credit.
Look, they may or may not have the best airline on planet Earth. I mean, President Trump will be the first person to confirm this fact. However, look, take this from me, a Brit.
Trump's fancy jet gifted by Qatar's royal family. Trump's pledge to defend Qatar. Yeah. Wasn't there a drama about him keeping that plane? Wasn't it illegal or something for him to accept it and use it as an official thing? I think I heard something about it.
Yeah, we have a lot of experience with these guys, Qatar. Trust me, you don't want a London situation. Yeah, it's almost like private investment like this is what makes the UK completely unlivably expensive right now.
Yeah.
And the super popular new right-wing party in the UK, Reform, based their entire agenda on increasing private investment. Oh, wait, sorry, my fault. I should be focusing on the boats coming over the 7 seas, mate. The invasion. Look, guys,
raise the flag.
All I'm saying, we might not want a fucking Qatari military base on our soil. Just an idea, just a crazy thought I had. Maybe we don't want to give away like huge sections of our sovereign land to Qatar in return for billionaires getting favors.
Also proud that today we're announcing we're signing a letter of acceptance to build a Qatari Emiri Air Force facility at the Mountain Home Air Base in Idaho. The location will be host a contingent of Qatari F-15s.
And this
fucking
isn't some
fly, bro.
insane proposal I'm bringing up. I
I
think it's
will end it.
extremely clear that Trump bootlicking Qatar has absolutely nothing to do with a peace deal in Gaza. I mean, there is simply not peace in Gaza, is there? And if you want to play that game, please tell me, Qatar supporters, which nation literally missile struck and took out innocent Qatari citizens on Qatari land, which by every single international standard was a war crime to the highest degree and was condemned as such by most countries on earth. Maybe, oh yeah, it was Israel. Oh no, but I forgot.
Yeah.
We need to focus on disarming Gaza. Dude, Israel have fucking nukes. You want to know what kind of advanced weaponry Gazans have? Rocks.
Yeah, sticks and stones. I was gonna say sticks and stones, but they are rocks.
Americans are so misled about Qatar, it's insane. First of all, they pronounce it as Qatar. Secondly, they turn on the news and hear shit like this.
This is about Iran. Iran and Qatar have come up with a disinformation campaign that they are running through TikTok and Instagram that is massive. If you are a young person, you open up your phone and all you see is Diddy.
Wow. No. I am not getting into politics. I don't want to get into politics. Wow. Not doing it. I thought that video was related to football and hijinks around football and maybe something funny. No. Not doing that. Okay, do I have anything else to watch? No, not really. So yeah, that's about that. I reacted, ended a bit. So I guess that I don't really want to play anything. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. It was an eventful live stream. We watched YouTube. I know, a very hard job. Someone has to do it. So yeah, that's about it, I guess. See you guys around. You know, hey Larry, drink water, do this and that and here and there. And yeah. See you guys around.